Hi, I'm Bullock from learningalias.co.uk. We're looking at a blend here. This is a wireframe created by one of my students, and his objective is to improve towards eventually Class A modeling standards. So we're going to start off by looking at this blend, and it's acceptable as it is. But if we want to build a Class A blend, then I have to show you how to improve the modeling technique. But the main purpose of this video is to look at the blend between the theoretical side glass and the shoulder. So if you find it interesting and you want to know more about professional modeling, then come along to my website learningalias.co.uk and have a look there and see. It's very interesting, but see if it's for you, and if you fancy signing up for a full professional alias automotive course to pro level. Okay, that's enough chat. Let's get on with the tutorial. Let's take a quick look at this A-pillar blend, and we see that these two curves, 1, 2, and this one are planar, whereas these two are clearly not planar, and this is causing a problem in the blend. I just want to get in close here and show you that this CV hull is quite nice here, but then all of a sudden it starts rising there, and this is causing a problem. So the reason for that is that the CVs on this curve need to be slid down here after the surfaces were built until the hulls were nicely aligned. So it's quite a simple thing to fix. Overall it's not a bad blend, and it's acceptable, and let's have a look at it with some dynamic shading on. Let's take a quick look at it with this ISO angle dynamic mode, and you see that generally the visual curves are good. I'll show you where the problems are. Perhaps it's a bit hard here. The curve needs to be a bit softer there. So what we're going to do now is take a look at it with the stripes on, and you can see that it's not bad. We can stick with that for the moment. It could be improved to get towards Class A, but it's fine for the moment. Okay, we're failing in continuity here. We don't have tangency here. We must have minimum of tangency between the this is the cantrail surface and the A-pillar. This would normally be the theoretical side glass surface. On this car happens to be a thin strip of the cantrail. So that's just a question of aligning this A-pillar surface to there. Okay, that's a simple job with tangency. Tangency is fine. When we're creating blends, we need tangency. And here we need curvature, and we're quite clearly failing in curvature top and bottom. And I'm going to show you now the reason for that and how to put it right. I'm going to zoom in on this point here, and now that I'm in really close, you can see the problem. We don't have tangency there, and we need in fact we've got a spurious CV which we can a spurious curve on surface which we can delete. And what I did, in fact, I untrimmed this. This is the little thin cantrail surface. I untrimmed that, and then I deleted this curve on surface here. And in fact, also to help with the modeling, I picked this surface here, which is the theoretical side glass, and hid it away, and then brought this curve on surface to there, and then built my vertical curve down from there. So it's a question of getting in really close and understanding what your curves on surface are actually doing, and and where they're causing you problems. Very important thing in alias is to have really good curves on surface. That's where it all starts. we can see here that the edge of this surface is not planar, so we need to put that right by building a curve there which is aligned and planar. Keep an instance of your extend tool in your shelf all the time, which is set to extend linear merge off and with an extension length of say 3 centimeters, and use this all the time when you're doing this type of setting up this type of curve alignment. So that's the new curve aligned G2 G2, and compare it with the original surface boundary, and you see you know, that's the problem, and that creates a big headache for the system. Okay, so I've ditched the actual theoretical side glass surface and I've untrimmed this cantrail surface because they are one of the same thing. They're both made from the same rail surface which comes from the barrel revolve surface. Now we don't want spurious curves on surface in alias. They cause a lot of headaches for the system, so what we're going to do is just get rid of those two curves on surface there, and I think that'll do us. We're looking at a surface here which I guess is a free-form blend, and you see that it's only a 1 to 3 degree surface, so it's not really much good, and as you can see, the CV hulls are quite tortured. So okay, how can we improve it? Well, first of all, if we're going to use degree 5 for the A-pillar blend, then we're going to usually we're going to build this blend back from the A-pillar, so we want degree 5 here as well. You can use freeform blend and then you can up the degree afterwards to degree 5, but for class A, generally speaking, I don't do that. I use square surfaces, 5511. Okay, I'm going to put a new curve in here, planarized, and then we'll build that surface, and I want you to see the difference. If I can just point out that this is the shoulder of the car, and this curve on surface goes right across the shoulder, which is a nightmare in alias because when you're trimming, it's a great way to lose half your model. So always detach your either project short curves on surface or detach about there where I have my cursor to avoid that. Always, before trying to build a line of chain surfaces with G2 continuity, check your curves on surface with a comb before you start, and you can see here that we only have tangency, so that's no good, and here we only have tangency, so that's no good either. So what I'm going to do is reproject this curve on surface here with a new curve, and I'll come back. I've bypassed this and I've gone all the way over here to the actual blend, so I'm aligning all this to that cut-off on the A-pillar. This is that point at the front corner of the theoretical side glass, and this surface here is the thin cantrail surface, and as you can see, we've got this triangular intersection which is no good, and we've got a small spurious cos there to get rid of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach this cos and delete the lower part of it, delete that small one, and then I'm going to build to this, and then afterwards I'll project a new curve to that point there, new curve on surface to that point there. Next thing to do, you see this curve on surface that we're going to join our curve to is too long, so we're going to pick the curve on surface and then just curve snap it to that point there. That didn't work, so what I'm going to do now then is use the detach tool and get it in there. Zoom in nice and close, because do it once right it's better than do it 2 or 3 times wrong. And then delete the spurious section, and then if I zoom, I'm going to realign the curves to it. Okay, so here are our 3 curves: planar, planar, and planar. Very important. Have a look at the curves, make sure they're looking like they're all playing in the same team, and they are to me. And let's build some surfaces. Okay, let's build the square 5511. Always check your CV hull. Make sure that it's looking nice and orderly, and we can go straight on now to build the next square. Curve to get better alignment, and put the CV hull on. So there we are, a few tips on how to get your, if you like, direct modeled blends to run nicely, and point out some of the problems to you that are going to get in your way and stop your model, your surfaces from building. So it's all about precision of the exact end point of curves on surface. Intersections must be really precise. Get stuff out of the way that you don't want, like I got the theoretical side glass out of the way, you know, it's just an extra surface, just complicating things. Simplify the playing field. I've got rid of the front screen, I've got rid of all the front of the car, so that I can actually focus on what I'm doing. There's one more thing I want to show you before I sign off. Rather than aligning a degree 5 curve there and projecting whatever, extending, projecting, I'm going to show you a way I often do it using construction planes. My motto in Alias is, if you're not using loads of construction planes, you're not doing it right. So this is a 3-point plane, so I'm going to click it there, and I'm only using 2 of the 3 points, and I'm going for vertical or perpendicular to this line. That's another way to work, perpendicular to one or the other boundaries. Okay, if I pick nothing now, then I have the plane there, and you know, quite often I scale the plane because I like to actually see the plane, see where it is. I've intersected the plane with the theoretical side glass surface and the shoulder. I'm now going to detach and get rid of the extra length of cos I don't want. So that leaves me with 2 nice curves on surface ready to put my 5 degree. So that's the curve created planar with the construction plane. You know, a great way to work in Alias for precision modeling and you know, good results. Okay, let's build the surface. It just needs aligning, so let's take the align tool. We know it's the curve because it says maximum angle right at that point there, so it's the curve that's driving the problem. So pick the curve, align it, and hey presto. Well, I hope that you found that useful. Precision. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry to get loads and loads of modeling done. Work really precisely. Zoom in really tight to see exactly what your curves on surfaces and your curve intersections are doing, and then when you come to build the surfaces, that's the easy bit. I hope that you've found this tutorial useful and that you can enjoy the tips and hints that I've given you. Bye for now.